Life doesn't ask if you're ready for hardship, it just delivers it. And today's guest is someone who knows that truth deeply and is living proof that adversity doesn't get the final say. Wynn Charles is an author, podcaster, motivational speaker, and a triathlete who has faced cerebral palsy, profound personal loss, chronic pain, and more surgeries than one can imagine. Instead of quitting, Wynn built resilience, faith, and purpose through it all. This conversation is not about inspiration without substance. It involves grit, mindset, advocacy, and choosing to move forward even when the road hurts. Welcome back to Shit Creek Survivors, where we share real stories of resilience, tools for resilience, and hope for those who are in their own shit creek right now. Wynn, thank you so much for joining us. It is such a pleasure. And I guess just out of the gates, could you tell us who you are and kind of what you do?
Okay. You guys, it's such a pleasure to be on here, Kim and Dennis.
Thank you.
My name is Wynn. Yes, that's my full legal name. Wynn
It's an
Charles.
awesome name.
And
Awesome.
I have ataxia-spastic cerebral palsy.
Okay.
You don't need to remember that the whole podcast interview. You don't
Okay.
need to remember ataxia, spastic cerebral palsy. We'll just call it CP for short.
Okay.
And CP is a lack of oxygen injury at birth. I acquired CP at being born at 5 months, 27 weeks.
Okay.
And so I don't know how I acquired CP. You can either have a stroke in the womb, you can either have a seizure, you can either have something in the womb that causes CP, but I don't know how I acquired CP.
Okay.
But what I do know is that my first shit creek moment was losing my mom
Oh,
in 2010. And then my second shit creek moment has something to do with CP.
mm-hmm.
And that is where we are today.
Okay.
I am partially bedbound right now as we speak because I am waiting for a total hip replacement
Okay.
at age 37.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. That is a young age.
Yeah, to lose your mother and for a hip replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my mom in 2010 and I lost my dad in 2019.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been going through a lot since 2010 for sure. Yeah. And so these were kind of moments where you were at a low point and you're kind of, deciding what were those low moments like for you? What comes into play when you lost your mom? Because I imagine you were somewhat dependent on her. And
I was very dependent on her.
okay.
And she was my primary caretaker at the age of 23. Yes, I still had a primary caretaker at the age of 23, believe it or not, due to CP.
Okay.
Even though I'm my own guardian, I still had someone helping me on a daily basis. She was
Mhm.
it. And so when I lost my mom, I was actually with her when she died.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a fun one. She
Yeah.
was in a medically induced coma as well.
Okay.
And so that was the lowest of the low. I thought, okay, I'm going to write a book. And then that book led to my work in podcasting because at the time I couldn't read. I can't read due to my disability. I can barely hold a phone, let alone a book. So I decided to make a purple button on my iPhone dance, and that purple button was called Apple iTunes at the time.
Okay.
And so I typed in book writing, and up pops Joanna Penn's podcast. Now, the story behind her is she is one of the top best-selling authors in the UK, does all her independent publishing work, and so, yes. And I started listening to her podcast, learning how to write the book, learning how to market the book, learning how to do all that. So when she said, okay, now it's time to market the book, I'm like, crap, I don't have a marketing strategy. I have, all I have is cerebral palsy. Well, my little brain uses the search tool, the magnifying glass in Apple iTunes, and typed in cerebral palsy. There was absolutely nothing under those keywords. So, therefore, my little brain says, okay, this is going to be my niche, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And
you found a void to fill.
Yeah. So that's how that all started.
So right away, I know, just listening to what you just said, you're a fighter. So you actually took, your mom passing, and you're like, you know what? Watch what happens now. I'm going to write a book.
Yep.
That is such an amazing pivot to what a lot of other people would do. A lot of other people would get small, and so, you know what I mean? Compared to like, what action can I take? And that is a huge distinction between, I mean, those who go for it and those who don't, just the urge to get out there and get it done. And just to clarify, your book, I love it. Your memoir is titled I Win.
Yep.
Well played. That is really, 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 really good. Really good.
Thank you.
And I also know that not only do you have cerebral palsy or CP, and that you wrote a book following all this, but I understand that you have been a competitor in the Kona Ironman triathlete or triathlon.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Please tell me how did that happen? Tell us about that.
Well, my cousin, I'm sitting at my desk one day working away on a podcast or maybe writing a book, I don't know, doing marketing, and the phone rings. My dad answers the phone. The next thing I hear, the intercom system goes off on the phone, and he says, Bob Ann would like to speak to you. And I'm thinking, oh, great, my mom had just died. What does she want? And I'm the type of person that says, I hate surprises. So I'm the type of person that just cut to the chase. And so I pick up the phone, and she goes, I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, just cut to the chase. Your aunt just died. Now what? And she goes, do you want to do triathlons with me and end up doing the Kona Ironman? And I said, what the fuck did she just say? What the fuck did she just say? So I started
Took you a second. Take you
a
a second to wrap your hand around it. Yeah.
yeah. I started being a triathlete with CP. And we did it, but we didn't win Kona. We did not win Kona. We got
You didn't win.
taken off the bike course, which made my teammate very upset. Yeah. But after my total hip, I'm going back to do Kona with a totally different team, and I'm going to win it this time.
That
Okay.
is amazing. And so when you do that, you'll have to have like a team around you, right?
Yes.
And they'll be responsible for feeding you and making sure you're resting when you need a rest and all that kind of stuff, right?
They will, but it's more how logistics. It's
Right.
more they pull me in the swim. They pedal a bike. I'm being pulled behind said bike, and they push me in the run. So it's more logistics than anything else. Now I will have my aide get me dressed. I will have all that. I will have a personal care attendant. I will have a PA, a personal care attendant with me. So that will all be taken care of. Logistically, I already have the team set up. They know I want to do Kona. I need to do a full triathlon just to get into Kona. Kona is a very selective small place. They do it's either Kona or France. They typically send the women to France, but because I'm a special needs team, they would probably send me to Kona at this point. And so we as a team need to qualify.
Okay.
So after my full hip replacement, I'm going to start training for that.
Awesome. That's so cool. I can't
love
believe
the
it.
mindset.
Yeah, go get
It's
it.
a very strong mindset. I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. Where do you think you get
Doing
that
better
mindset?
than most.
Yeah, where do you get that mindset from? Is that just naturally born into you?
Just I get that mindset from my mom, and it's just naturally ingrained to me. It's just naturally ingrained in me that don't give up.
Yep.
If you don't succeed, try again. And I've had a million surgeries to boot, and that my third shit creek moment was waking up from a 5-hour back surgery, realize I have anxiety and depression.
Oh, what do you mean?
That was fun. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression as soon as I during my recovery from back surgery because I landed up having a anxiety attack 2 minutes into my recovery.
Oh no.
After 5 hours of back surgery.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my family decided to call. My mom's family decided to call. And they weren't even on my HIPAA list.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened. I've been in those recovery rooms. It's not fun waking up, and especially if you had something like that, you're like,
nope.
I had I've actually got a story about their recovery room. It wasn't anything like big. I had to have a kidney biopsy because I guess I've got this Berger's disease or something like that. But when I woke up from that procedure, the phone rang. My wife picked it up and she goes, "Oh no." And I goes, "Did my dad pass away?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So I had just woken up from surgery. I'm like, shoot, like, how
Yeah.
could it be today? Anyways, that's it. And those rooms I get cold every time I wake up from anesthesia. Do you ever get
Well,
that?
they keep those rooms so cold to keep the germs at bay. I have been known to bring
Okay.
my own blanket this time and go bring my own pillow if they allow me.
Yeah.
But definitely my own blanket because they want you woken up in a certain amount of time, otherwise they do interesting stuff to you. We won't get into that. But they put cold washcloths on your face and yell and
Yeah.
scream at you to make sure you're still alive, basically.
Yeah.
And so, but my perception is, how in the heck are you supposed to wake up in a certain time with um, the room being so cold when your body's not used to cold and you just had a 4-hour operation? In
Yeah.
my case, 5 hours on my back.
Yeah. That's tough. That is so tough. You are a rock star. And you've taken it even further to help people your journey. You do motivational speaking as well, correct?
Yes.
That's amazing. How did you get into that?
I got into that because of my podcast.
Okay.
So when the time allows and when my body allows me to move, I like to do motivational speaking. I mean, I've spoken at UVA, University of Virginia, twice.
Oh,
I've
wow.
spoken, there are a couple other places I've spoken, but basically do it through podcasting and do all that through podcasting.
Wow. Wow. I
What's your
might have to
podcast
get,
title?
A different shaped heart, which I will give you guys in the link.
Yeah,
I will send that out to you so you guys have it.
yeah,
I
please do.
definitely should
Please
check it
do.
out.
And when you do your motivational speaking, you don't, well, first off, it's so awesome. I've been to UVA. That campus is gorgeous, so
Yes.
you remember when you go there, you're like, whoa, this is cool.
Yes.
But when you're speaking and you don't really kind of know the audience, I'm assuming you're speaking to students and faculty and
Yeah.
guests and whoever it may be. What topic do you speak on? Like if you're motivating that group, what is it you try to focus on and
Well,
kind of
I
impart?
was speaking to a bunch of special, soon to be special ed
Okay.
teachers about adaptive skiing.
Oh, cool.
So I've done adaptive snowboarding. I've done
What?
adaptive skiing before I moved to Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, how cool. I guess
And
there's
so, yeah,
not a lot of skiing or snowboarding in Phoenix, but
no.
you had to leave that behind.
So
How do you do is that when you sit on kind of like the ski? Is that the kind of
I
skiing you were
have
doing?
done that, and
Yeah.
I basically took a normal snowboard, attached what they call rider board to it, and then did snowboarding for many, 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 many years until I moved.
Wow.
Cool.
You're a rock star. I am so glad that you're on
Yep.
here right now. This is freaking amazing. Like anybody
Yep.
else's excuses on why they're not doing anything are going straight out the window right now. So
Yeah.
it's
Mine included.
Exactly.
And you also support veterans, and being the fact we come from law enforcement, and Dennis was in the Army. How do you try to aid and help veterans specifically?
Well, I try to aid and help vets by supporting them and trying to motivate them the best I can.
Gotcha. And does that mean
Just a
like
target
keep
audience.
going in their personal life, career, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff? Just
exactly.
that's very
Exactly.
cool. That's very cool. Um, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's a listener out there right now who's actively in their own shit creek, who has no paddle and feels like there's not a lot of hope, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, let's hear some of your inspirational speeches that you have.
Yes.
I would say, well, if you're suffering from alcoholism, go to the nearest Al-Anon meeting or go to the nearest AA meeting. That
Yep.
will lead you to Codependence Anonymous, number
Mm-hmm.
one. And reach out for help. Reach out to the professionals out there who can help. Do not reach out to friends. Do not reach out to loved ones. They can help, but the professionals can help even more.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well said. Have you ever found that maybe although your family loves you and they want everything for you, s- sometimes maybe that can even get in the way because they can't see where you are going. Like they can't see
Yes.
your goal. It I That's an
Yes.
interesting concept, isn't it? The idea that like someone knows you now and you want to go here, and they can say go for it, but there's this kind of gap in the middle where they don't understand really what you're doing. You haven't really got your podcast totally going, and then all of a sudden boom, it gets going, and now you're getting
Yeah.
calls for motivational speaking and like all this kinds of stuff. How It's an interesting concept that sometimes you have to separate yourself from the people that know you
Yeah.
best to
Yeah.
become who you will be.
A better version
Mhm.
of yourself. Yes, I've had to do that with my own family.
Yeah. Wow. And that's such a strong decision to make, but a very hard decision to make, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes,
What
like
was
with
your thought?
family and friends, you have to convince them, like,
Yeah.
this is what I want to do. You should, support me. When really, if it's something you want to do, you really just got to go
Yeah.
for it,
But, like, how do
Yeah.
you do that? Like, are you just telling yourself stuff? Are you feeding yourself a positive energy? Are you reading something out of a book? Are you writing something? And like, what's the process? How do you get to the point where you can, like, divide that up? Because family means a lot to people, and if they don't approve of something, it could really be devastating.
Well, I gave up on my family after they emotionally and physically abused me because I had CP
I'm so sorry. I did not
and
know
didn't
that.
like my care. So I gave up on my family. And they
Okay.
know it. And they know
Sorry to
that
hear
I'm
that.
having no total help. But are they going to be out here to help? No. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be myself, my care team, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And my chosen family. But
Okay.
other than that,
Well,
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
all have our
That's
family that we're born with and the family we choose. That's for sure too.
Yep.
yeah. That is well said. Sometimes you got to find your own tribe somewhere else, people who
Yeah.
understand you and the journey you're
Yeah.
on. I'm glad you were able to
Exactly.
find that. I'm so glad you were able to find that because that means a
Yeah.
lot, you know. Uh, Knowing that you're not alone in the fight, knowing that even you keeping going is going to help other people, you know,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
and the inspiration that you're giving to people from that. It's absolutely amazing. Um, so What other things am I missing that you've done? Have you climbed a mountain as well or gone to space or anything like that? Am I missing any
I
accomplishments?
haven't gone to space, but I have climbed mountains way. And
What?
yep, I used to rock climb. I have hiked the 14er.
Oh, what?
I have hiked a 14er
Oh, geez.
when I
Wow.
was walking,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is when I was young too. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Gotcha.
Is your new hip going to allow you to be able to do it again?
I don't know what my new hip is going to be able to allow me to do again. It's it's going to let me get out of this bed, which I
Yeah.
am greatly appreciative of.
And
And
that's a
it's
good
going to let
start.
me do a Kona Ironman because I'm going to make that happen. But it's also going to improve my life.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would get, even though it was my choice, I never thought I would be a total hip candidate for at the age of 37.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
remember to
But
take
it's,
small steps as you're getting your recovery.
Yep.
Make small steps. Just keep going positive. Keep moving forward. Take one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go do that triathlon the next weekend afterwards.
No.
I want to speak to something really quick. And a lot of people who haven't been bedridden for a period of time don't understand that you don't want to be in that bed.
No.
It feels like a prison, and obviously I'm only speaking to my small experience with it, my small experience. So I don't mean to compare at all, but when you're bedbound, it feels like a prison. And
Yeah.
it gets really uncomfortable. People are kind of, you assume they're looking at you and are just like, get out of bed, or you're in bed, just rest. It's that easy, but it's
Yeah.
not. You're in
No.
pain, you're uncomfortable, you want to move around, it's hard to do so. You would very much like to get out of bed. You'd very much be able to walk to the bathroom on your own. All these things, and like people don't understand
Exactly.
what's happening on a daily basis, the work and the effort that it takes, and in this kind of circumstance. And I
Well,
respect you
especially since
very
she's so
much.
active and such a go-getter and always on the move, and then all of a sudden now you
Yeah.
can't.
I
Yeah.
know. Like, how many times have I thought I was a victim? And then Wynn comes in here and talks about climbing mountains after she gets diagnosed. It's like, it's so, this has been like such a great experience, and like seeing two different mentalities, like it doesn't matter what the body is. It's just two different mentalities. It's really, really powerful, Wynn. I
Yeah.
hope you know that. Like, that is
Well,
huge.
I try.
And then you also own your own jewelry design company. That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
What do you make?
I used to, before I gave it all up, I used
Okay.
to do artwork. I started that company in 2006. So, and then I turned it all into writing and motivational speaking and podcasting after my mom died. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool. How
Did you
long
do the
have you
painting that's
been?
behind you?
I did not do the painting that's behind me. Unfortunately, I should move that painting and put the one
No,
that's
it's
in front of me behind me. So I did
yeah.
do the one that's in front of me.
All right.
Very cool.
I know a lot of people listen without the video, so they can't tell
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. But there's a painting behind Wynn that almost looks like it's a bunch of people standing in kind of some sort of dream scenario.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Some are red and angry, and some are blue and calm. And
Yeah, exactly.
I see it. Yeah, I see it for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So We are talking to a mountain climber, a triathlete, a CEO of her own company, a motivational speaker who inspires others. We are talking to someone who is waiting on a hip replacement with anticipation of going back out and doing another triathlon. I mean, my goodness, not a
Yeah,
lot
she's
of
an
people.
author.
Yeah, she's an author. Oh, yeah, she's an author. Yeah. So,
Yes.
I mean, she's moving and shaking, and I might have to call you in and get some advice on
Yeah.
if I ever want to transition in one of those directions, or
Yep.
Dennis wants to write a book, he better call you
Exactly.
and let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience, or you know what? I hope this isn't too much to ask, but you have a very, very unique perspective at life, right? A very unique perspective, and none of us understand it. Is there any way you could kind of explain like the day to day to a person who's not affected? Like kind of everything that you have to go through to kind of like let us know kind of what your whole day
Well,
looks like?
right now I need help 24/7 because I I'm partially bedbound and not fully bedbound, but I'm partially bedbound
Mm-hmm.
because of my hip, my leg contracting underneath me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I fell on my birthday, which started it all. My
Mm.
birthday's in June. I
Okay.
I fell on my birthday, not realizing that my birthday would turn into a birthday of pain. I pushed this
Right.
aside. I went and did a speech to my church,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the speaker for that day. So I pushed pain aside. I thought nothing of it. And all of, all of a sudden, I'm at the end of my speech. My knee goes up. I'm thinking, there goes my knee. It's hurting. I didn't realize it was my hip until July 17th when my leg would not go down. I had to call 911, and
Uh-huh.
I remember pleading in the emergency room. I remember saying, my hip is out loud, loud enough so that they could hear, not not at the top of my lungs screaming enough for security to come in, but
Right.
loud enough so they could hear, my hip is out, my hip is out, my hip is out. No one
Mm-hmm.
believes me, and turns out my hip is now 50% out.
Mm.
Yeah. That's painful too, from what I've heard. Very,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
painful.
yeah, having a hip that's 50% out. And you can see after COVID, which was coronavirus,
Mm-hmm.
which shut the whole world down, you can see how post COVID care in the medical field doesn't really exist
Right.
because no one wants to do their job. No one wants to listen to the patients. No one wants to hear one more sob story about patient advocacy.
Is that you think that's burnout because of COVID? They
Yes,
just yeah.
yes, and I have nurses who are friends of mine. I have medical professionals who I know personally who are burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
That's gonna be
that's
frustrating while you're there too, feeling like there's one more thing that you're helpless about almost. Like, just
Yeah,
listen to
well,
me. I want to be seen.
I
yeah.
have caregivers that help. Although I do my own medical advocacy, I've been my own guardian since I was 18. And so it was so funny because um as I was signing off for this hip surgery, one of the assistants to this big, huge medical office that I'm having it done with comes running into the room. And she goes, "Who's signing off for this surgery?" And I said, "Me," as loudly as I could, as she runs right past me to my aide and
Right.
to my medical assistant. I said, "Me again." And she goes, "Oh, I thought there was a medical power of attorney in in the room." And I'm like, "No, it's me."
Hmm.
And I I almost said, "Give me that iPad and let me sign off." And
Yeah.
so um I literally have to fight for myself.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people are realizing that you have to advocate for yourself. If you go
Yeah.
to a doctor and you ask about something and they don't have knowledge or interest or whatever and you're talking about, you have the right to go to another doctor.
Yeah.
And find the right person. I think a lot of times we think that we have one doctor, that one doctor makes the decisions for us. You can get out there and do your own stuff. If your doctor doesn't want to do a blood panel, fine, go do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Figure out what's going on and advocate for yourself, which is super important. I did hear you mention that you were speaking at church. So may I ask, how has your faith helped you through this process?
God, my face has helped me through this process tremendously. Um without my church family, I would be on the ground.
Yeah.
Basically, they're all rooting for me to get this hip replacement and calling good. It's like, come on, get this hip replacement and call it good. And a lot of people, including my own fan base, are voting for me to get a hip replacement because hip replacements are so common. Um,
Hmm.
and people are like, "You're having a what? At what age?" And so you're not in the 80s, you're not in the 90s, you are not hunched over. Well, that's not true, I am. But I am a little bit hunched over when I walk. But I, but people are like, "What? You're having a what? And your hip is out what percent?"
Hmm.
And yeah,
So you almost run into people in disbelief. It's
yeah,
they can't accept
yeah.
actually what's happening because they've never seen it in these circumstances
Now,
the way that you're presenting.
now.
Oh,
And
that must be very
I
frustrating.
have come to find out that a lot of young people are now having hip replacements and knee replacements because of their injuries, because of their disabilities.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're opening their eyes to the need, and I guess you're just going to be one of those pioneers
Yeah,
that blazes the trail and says, "Come on, let's
yeah,
get this done. Let's get moving.
exactly,
Let's get quality of life back."
exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Well,
Well,
we'll
I
pray
tell
for
you
you
what.
on your journey. We'll pray for you on your healing. We'll pray for
Well,
you on your surgery.
that, that is wonderful, and the more fans I can get, the better, and I'll be explaining. I have explained up to this, um, that I will be having a hip replacement. I'll be documenting everything on TikTok, and I'll be saying I'll be breaking the stigma of hip replacements, and yeah,
We will be following. I am so
yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited to
So
see where it goes. Thank you so much for coming on today. I really, really
you
appreciate it.
guys are welcome, and I will send you guys the information so via talks.co, and we'll see what trouble we can cook up.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta, Georgia, so if you ever need a place or a friend to stop by and see, we're here. Dennis is in St.
I'm in St.
Louis,
Louis.
so we're
But
kind of
Win,
spread.
I'm in awe at you and your power, your strength, and your resiliency, and it is inspiring. So
Well,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much for your time today. I really appreciated meeting
Thank
you.
you.
If you're listening right now and thinking, if she can keep going, maybe I can too, then this episode did exactly what it was supposed to do. Wynn's story reminds us that resilience doesn't mean being fearless or pain-free. It means refusing to stay down. Since recording this episode, I am excited to say that Wynn did get her hip surgery and is already focusing on getting back into triathlons and doing what she loves. If you're struggling, make sure you reach out to either a professional, to someone you trust, or community that understands. You are not weak for needing help, and you are not alone in this, okay? If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone you know who needs a little hope, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future stories.